you look into this and you notice this pattern that any any new research or idea that sort of challenges even a little bit the trans dogma, you get the scientists, the doctors get serious social and professional pushback. So there's uh, a, a book on scientific controversies, Galileo's Middle Finger, I think it's called, that documents an earlier episode of this. So I think it was the early thousands, that there researchers postulating different typologies and causes of transgenderism, and the you know, the the social professional repercussions for them. Recently, some of this research into is there a social contagion element to particularly girls who want to transition into boys, that it's like you can't even ask the question. You can't research this without, and the way it'll happen is, um, well, all of a sudden, the profession wants to um, prov- evaluate things by the most rigorous possible standards. So this study, doesn't live up to a certain standard that, well, I mean, all the research in this field kind of doesn't live up to, but now we're going to selectively apply this rigor to this one particular area of research. All of this activist interference with the scientific process is in interesting contrast um, to the way that uh, gay activists approach the AIDS pandemic. I think this is an interesting contrast. So you have in both cases, so there's this um, victimized minority group, and they're facing a serious, people are dying, whether it's little kids are going to commit suicide, or our friends, our lovers are dying of a disease. And the way that trans activists have been approaching this is to stop or slow any unflattering uh, line of research, versus the gay activists in the 80s and 90s, who were very much explore every hypothesis, get down to the root of it. They were instrumental in removing barriers in the FDA for getting some effective medicines, prescribed for AIDS that were originally used for some other purpose. Really interesting that how supportive they were to the real scientific process versus what the trans activists are doing. That's, I mean, again, I think that's really revealing of what's at play with the trans movement versus other um, movements for the rights of minority groups.
Yeah, I think that's an important comparison and contrast. And if anything, I put it a little stronger than the way you put it, in that the the scientists at the time, because it was AIDS and involved gays, homosexuals, there was a kind of um, taboo about researching this thing. And
Mm.
so it was the scientists, sort of, you could see some reluctance in doing, and the gay activists were, you've got to overcome this. We want you to do real research, and you're neglecting this. So they were, as you said, they were supportive of it, but they were pushing against people not researching this and saying, no, this warrants way more research. And here it's the opposite of something that really does warrant more research, more understanding. It's, no, we don't want you to do that research. And yeah, so it's a very important comparison and contrast, and I think it's very damning.